Namaste and welcome. Thank you so much for joining me, fellow starseeds, mortals, gods, shamanesses, and so on and so forth. We're going to be titling this video as I wanted to talk about and touch on a few things today. Talking about acquired karma from lifetimes, as well as some draconian, alpha draconian specifically characteristics, as well as evil eye. So the term evil eye, what is the evil eye? It's when somebody, can give you this evil look, and this vibrational energy can do great harm to you. And it starts off as an energy, an energetic frequency, depending on the severity of the intention and depending on the type of power the person projecting this frequency of energy. So if they're an alpha draconian or a reptilian and they are very thought form, or they do thought form magic, which is the type of projection, a type of witchcraft, honestly, and that evil eye can get into your chakra system and it could go and manifest physically. So we're going to be clearing that out. And for those of you who know me, and for those of you who have watched my energetic sessions, you know how much of an empathic sponge I am, and you know how much you know how special and how sensitive my starseed gifts are, to where I embody every single energetic frequency. And it's actually a gift, it's not a curse. And for 40 years it felt like a curse, but it's not. We're going to be clearing this out today. For those of you, and what is the Alpha Draconian? Okay, so Alpha Draconians are the starseeds with more of the wickedness, more of the intentions that are not pure and not of light. You're not going to be like a Lemurian or a... Lemurians are... which this is like one of my capital star realms, like my star life from Lemuria. I'm a survivor of the lost world of Lemuria. I survived and I reincarnated. And if you are a Lemurian, you're very empathic, okay, you're very caring, you're ultra sensitive to harshness, you're ultra sensitive to water. You either like love water, you're completely drawn to it, or like you're traumatized by it because of the war and the bombing in Lemuria. That the Alpha Dracos and the Reptilians did. You know, you love music, you want to heal humanity, or morality. You feel like you're on this earth for to create a new earth. Okay, you feel like you want to heal, whether it's through music, and you're very caring to mammals and other living other living beings besides humans. So like if you're like ultra sensitive to like, you know, dolphins or whales, and you have like a desire to, it's even people who favor the merfae, so mermaid, you know, mermaids and fairies. And we're going to take care, and we're going to start tapping. I want to use this bottle of salsa verde because the taps in this are very, like, it's very comforting. And for those of you who've been watching me for the past 2 days, thank you for bearing with me. Thank you for subscribing. I want you to subscribe to my backup channel, which I save all my videos to, just in case if any Alpha Draconians attack this channel and it gets shut down. It's called Samara and Dara ASMR. I'm going to be doing some light language channeling in this session. I'm going to be talking a little bit about my walk-in soul experience, and I'm going to be talking about a specific starseed race that's very ultra sensitive, like even more than Lemurians. I'm going to be talking about just so many things. So, and for those of you who, have been watching the past like 48 hours, I invite you to go back to my videos for 48 hours so you could see like live examples of alpha draconians and energy vampires as well. The term energy vampires, we could talk a little bit of that as well. It's those beings that were not born with a light or a source to the divine, or a source to a divine source light. So if you are a reptilian or even a jinn, so like a lower vibrational shadow, darker entity from the lower realms, and you were born with like shadow people, spirit attachments, this is a type of energetic vampire that can drain your complete, it will do a whole atmospheric complete drain, like an energy drain, and it's like a parasite. So like we talk about shadow people, we talk about parasite spirits, the types that will latch into your energetic field and hook into you mentally or spiritually, but everything like starts in the human mind until it progresses physically. So it can be an energetic hook, hooking onto your base or sacral chakra. Okay, how do they do this? First, they know that you're a healer, or they know that you have that innate ability to where you care and you're compassionate, and they literally act like a predator with its prey, and they hook into you, whether it's hooking into you, having a motive of using you for their benefit, which a lot of reptilians and alpha draconians, they always have this impure motive, and these types of like sneaky, darker characteristic, like personality traits, like, or if you're just an asshole. So like, let's just talk about karma. Does karma hit everybody? Everything's karmatic. So if you find yourself in a lifetime to where you are just a straight asshole, like you just don't care about other people, or you're out to attack someone because of the way you feel and your projections, that is, you're building your own karma for your later on in life and your future lifetimes. So like next lifetimes, and whatever comes around, like whatever you put out into that universe, atmospheric energy, it will find its way back to you. So like, and it can be a domino effect. So like, if you feel like a certain way, and if you're projecting this like type of behavior, like if you're just an asshole and you're vindictive like to a specific person and you target them, whether it doesn't matter for the reasoning, and you're just a dick, this will manifest usually like later in your life. And me and my friend Jonathan, we were just talking about karma. We were just talking about forms of, he was like, it always hits like, like later in life, like it always hits like the assholes, like when they hit their 30s or 40s, like it'll hit, and then like you think like everything's smooth sailing, and then it's like boom, you get that bald spot, you get that beer belly, your options, or your girlfriend like leaves you, or you're not doing well with money, and then it's just like, if you're not conscious to clear your own projections onto others, that energy that you're putting out to them will always find its way back to you, whether it's in another incarnation whether it's in another incarnation, like a future lifetime, or a little bit later in life. So like it just, have you heard of like karma never misses an address? So stuff like that. So like it's good to, even if you harbor like negative feelings of another being, it's good to always act in the best moral compass as you can, because if you don't, and you act just like a total asshole, and you do things deliberately or purposely, or you're just constantly being vindictive, or you're constantly being arrogant and just like a piece of shit that you just like, it's out of control and it's just so like oblivious, karma will come. Okay, so we're gonna clear those projections now. And I want to burn some Yaguruma, because the projections to evil eyes can get really, from evil eyes, can get out of control to where I've seen people's chakra systems like completely like, I've seen their chakra systems get affected, and then I've seen them physically, like after they don't take care to heal the chakras after they got the evil eye, and then they start getting like manifested pain from the evil eye. So like you get them like really hooked in your back, or like your shoulder blades, or the top of your head, or the back of your head, or the sides of like your neck, and sometimes they hook into the throat chakra. So I'm going to be burning some Yaguruma on this bed of herbs, as you see, and you may also hear energetic 5 examples of energy vampires, so I'm just, don't say it didn't warn you. So this is a wonderful blend. It's got some cinnamon stick, and you know, I'm going to put a little bit of Quita Maldición on there to kind of kill the intentioned spell, or it's like a more of like a hex breaker from Alpha Dracos, because they could have just really they could harbor just like a lot of malice towards you, and a lot of ill will, and just be an openly like outright asshole, and to where like they know exactly what they're doing. And I know that like, I know exactly like a lot of practitioners will be like, oh, like it's subconscious and they don't know what they're doing, and they know what they're doing. So this is a mix of Quita Maldición and some Yaguruma, just kind of to clear, you know what I mean, the atmospheric energies. You know, and if you're like sitting there and being a deliberate asshole to somebody, whether you feel like they deserve it or you feel like they're a piece of trash or not, just know that karma always finds its way back. Everything's karmatic, so it's like you can create your own negative karma. You can just be like a straight up dick to someone. You could target someone for years, and you can literally like latch into their energetic space, and this person can be a healer or not, and whether or not you feel like they deserve it, you're creating karma, bro, for yourself. So it's just like, it's gonna hit you either way. So I just wanted to put that out there, because a lot of people don't understand, you know, karma. And let's talk about dharma as well. So it kind of ties into that, you know, karmatic, but it's like you create your own like actions and reactions within the karma. So like your dharma, and past life dharma shows up a lot with dharmic retribution, to the point where sometimes you'll be born into a life in like Malaysia, okay, and you'll have to walk like 10 miles to school every day and 10 miles back, like, and I hate to say this, but that is a lot of dharma that people don't clear from past life karma. It's very karmatic. So live examples of energy vampires. And we're going to take the arrowhead and we're going to start cutting. So I'm gonna start pulling these cords out of you, and I'm very clairvoyant, so I could see the cords. And I'm gonna take my tourmaline and cut them. I'm seeing a lot of cords from the crown chakra that needs to be cut. And I'm seeing a lot of constricted throat chakra cords. So like someone's been trying to silence you, perhaps. And some people can do this with mental magic. Some people, they have, it just depends on your energetic blueprint that they hold on to, as well as, like I said, their intentions. Everything starts up here, to the point where, like, if someone's constantly wishing you bad and you're not careful to clear that, and they already have a heavy energetic blueprint to them, or they have this just very sharp energy, as most energy vampires have, just very, and if you're energetic sensitive, like if you're an energy sponge, you will feel this type of like sharp, it's almost like, it's like, it's, and this is what energy vampires, this is their energetic frequency. And if you know about the archonic agenda, and you know about, and if you're awakened, and if you are also an empath, and sometimes if shielding isn't enough for you because you hope, you know, from your heart chakra the best, like you have good intentions for mankind, or you're a healer, you're in some sort of nurturing career, you know, I'm going to be doing energetic sessions on and off all night tonight. So like energy vampires, they will try to stop you and sabotage your plans, especially the Alpha Dracos, okay? Alpha Draconians, they're just like openly like outward with their negative, wicked intentions for you. Whether it's talking bad about you to one of their parasitic connections, because energy vampires, they like to feed off of each other because they don't have the, they weren't born with the divine source or the god light. So what they do is, and if you are like, am I an energy vampire? Okay, so like here are the signs that you are. You always need to be like interacting with someone. You're always like telling them your problems, and they feel drained or tired after you, or maybe they're an energy vampire as well, and you guys literally will stay on the phone for hours, and you guys will feed each other energy. And it would be like, you always need to be sucking the energetic chi life force energy out of another, okay? Whether it's an animal, a mammal, a human, and then it's like you're carnivorous, so you need lots of meat, bacon, steak, you stay up all night, things like this, you know, like traits of a vampire, but energetically. It's not like you go and suck people's blood, or, you know, there are people like that, okay? But I'm not talking about like vampires. I'm talking about energy vampires. So if you constantly need to be on the phone with someone, and you're like constantly like, and it's like, that's like the power plug, right? Like in other videos that I've told you about, you're plugging your energy into another source. It's like a parasite, like it needs a host to latch onto, okay? So these are examples of like energy vampires, and a lot of them are alpha draconic. And I've heard a lot of spiritualists on YouTube, and even I've read about like, oh, the draconics are dragons, okay? The dragons that I use in my energetic sessions are my spirit guides. They're dragon star mothers from the higher light realms of the constellations, and even dragon star mothers of the Akashic records of the light. Okay, so, and I'm talking about higher than archangels, like higher than the Christian archangels, the Abrahamic archangels. I'm talking about cosmic archangels. Like, have you heard of Metatron's grid? Okay, he's more of a cosmic light being, okay? So when I talk about energetics, and if I talk about using like an angel in my sessions, it's usually going to be Metatron. He is a cosmic being. I'm not talking about the Abrahamic Christian whole archangel realm. This is a being that has been here before those beings, and these are supreme light beings. Okay, so there's different angels too. So there's seraphim angels, who are the angels of paradise or heaven. There's archangels, there's cherubims. Okay, so I mean, these are different classes of the Abrahamic angels, connected to, you know, Abrahamic Christianity and things like this. When I work with this grid right here, which I'm not sure if I put it somewhere or not, I have a grid connected to Metatron. It's right here. And this is Metatron, the Cosmic Angel's Flower of Life grid. Okay. So sorry about this lighting here. This is Metatron's grid, and I was born under the cosmics. I have cosmic archangel abilities, but they're more like earth angel abilities. And for a long time, there was darker beings latching onto my father's house and my light, and also my mother's mind, and they were very parasitic. Like, they were feeding off of this energy. And it was very sharp, and it was very dark, and I was being an empathic sponge. It felt like more than a dark night of the soul. It felt like more than losing fragments of your soul. So if you are more like spiritual ascended and you've lost fragments of your soul, if you've ever went into a soul shock, for those of you who know and who are spiritually evolved, that is way worse than a dark night of the soul phase. And going into soul shock and losing fragments of your soul to extreme pain of losing a twin flame or losing that soulmate or that spiritual connection, and just being in that much pain, sometimes like you subconsciously lose fragments of yourself. And I'm almost like getting chills. But when you lose fragments of your soul, these darker alpha draconian energy vampire reptilian parasite spirits are you're prone to attracting their darkness to your light, and it's not your fault. You do this on an unconscious level to where you're not even aware at all. It's not even subconscious. So you need to call on the cosmic angels. So like Metatron is amazing for, you know, he will come to your aid, as well as Raziel. Raziel is a cosmic angel. And these beings of higher lights, they're in the cosmic star systems, the cosmic solar systems. They're angels of fire, and their light illuminates, okay, and it integrates and just ascends, and transcends all darkness into light. Like, they're angelic fire. It's called angelic flame. From Metatron and Raziel, it will kill off these parasitic, darker shadow entities, the ones that, you know, we're talking about past I don't know how many days now, because I'm trying to make you conscious and trying to awaken the masses to what really is going on in this like archonic agenda. And the archons have really anchored themselves into mankind and onto earth, and it really is a spiritual warfare fight. And a lot of like mortals, the ones who aren't awakened, who are in the matrix on a daily and nightly basis, who have never had spiritual powers or gifts or ascension symptoms, or who aren't spiritually evolved, they will be easily influenced by the archons. They will be the first ones to be susceptible to, okay, I'm just going to get sucked into this routine of the matrix, and I'm going to go to my 9 to 5 today, and on Sundays I'm going into the cults. I'm going into a building to worship a false god in the sky that they say has written this man-made book, and I'm gonna just be fit into this, archonic agenda, to the point where, like, I'm gonna be sucked into this matrix of lies in this box, to where these lower vibrational beings who have, whether they've sold their souls or sacrificed family members or babies even into the fire so they could have power, greed, and they could have those positions, and it's crazy because it's like these really evil, wicked star races, draconians, alpha draconians, reptilians, and they're very archonic because they may be lower, like shadow people, like hooking into your vibrational field. But on Earth, to mortals, they seem like they have a higher position because they'll be like a doctor or an attorney, or they'll be someone sort of held like in a power, like what seems like a power position to people who are unawakened and not transcended and not spiritually evolved, and they'll seem like they have this influence, and they'll seem like they're on this ladder of like hierarchy or patriarchy or whatever, but really they work with the lower, darker shadow realms. They're not high at all. And this is why it's so detrimental, because when you get sucked into that whole archonic, what is this, parasitic matrix, and you see it every day. Like, for those of you who are spiritual warriors, okay, warriors of light, messengers of light, for those of you with wings and who have, direct ties of clairvoyance to the cosmic angels, you are able to not only see but sense these parasites, and you sense them in churches, and you sense them in like lodges, and like you sense them even driving by in their 250, Ford 250 trucks, and their Mercedes. Like, you can sense, if you know, if you're awakened, and it's like you can feel a whole vibe. Like, you can feel their energy, and like I said, like their energies they could be very heavy and feel almost like, oh, it's sickening, like, oh, it's disgusting, like it's slimy, nasty energy, like, okay, get this out of me. It's like, or a very sharp energy, to the point where they're just an asshole. But they have like, so you could, like, if you're spiritually awakened and you embody, or you're like a sponge and you're empathic, and you can just feel energies, and you could feel these people's addictions, or you could feel their demons, like you could feel their spirit team, and it's very, I can't explain it other than very sharp. If they have like an ADD or ADHD, it's like it's a very, like, it hits your aura like, oh my god, like, how does this person even thrive in this earth? You know what I mean? You're like, and it's like, okay, that is them, this is me, like, let me just shield. And it's like, this is why I share my knowledge of like the crystals. They really come from the other realms. They're like you and me, they're alive and they have souls in them, okay, and they are here to fight the light worker, spiritual warrior fight, okay. Crystals are your allies, they're your friends. The archons will be like, oh, it's in the Bible, which goes into Abrahamic conditioning pollutant bullshit, because man wrote the Bible. There's no accounts that say that God actually wrote it. Men wrote it. And what do men do? They lie. So, like, if you really want to get technical and really, like, go back to the ancient text, and I am a starseed of, like, BC realms, like, before Christ, like, and I am going to talk about Jesus and the the whole Christ consciousness thing. Jesus was a shaman and a healer. He was a human like you and me. The whole crucifixion story, and I'm sorry if you believe in stuff like that, that was bullshit, because there is no way a human with blood and flesh can survive that many hours nailed to a cross. Okay, that is what archons and Abrahamic religions from these reptilian star races want you to believe. They want you to feel guilty, and they want to implicate shame and that, heavy vibrational energy to make you feel guilty so you can go to your 9 to 5 or your 3 to 11, fit in their box. Okay? So you don't recognize your inner power, so you can't utilize your gifts for mankind, so you can work for them. Okay? So my light warrior self, I'm really speaking from my higher self today. And if you are offended by the truth, click off my channel, because I will be spreading a lot of light and a lot of truth about the archonic agenda. It's all around us, especially if you live near Freemason lodges and you have like these huge towers, and they could be Elks lodges, they could be in churches, it could be like the Christ of Latter-day Saints or whatever. Okay, all of this is archonic. All of this falls into the archon agenda. So we are going to be tapping some of this away, and I like to use this type of like rosemary for healing. And like, if you like go around and be like inconsiderate, and you're like doing this on purpose, you're building karma for the later part of your life and your next lifetime realms. It's just like ridiculous. Like, if you just don't give a fuck and you have like numbness or like this bleakness to your soul, and you like deeply affect others on a negative plane in that energetic frequency, chances are you are an energetic vampire, you are a reptilian or an alpha draconian, and you need to wake up, and like you need to be more assertively aware of how your energy affects others, whether or not you feel like they deserve it. Okay, you are not Goddess Mayat, to where like, Goddess Mayat, she is the goddess of truth and justice, and she will weigh the souls of the dead against a feather on her scale, and if that soul is heavier than that feather, you know what I mean? It's like, yes, different gods and goddesses, they have their own powers, okay? No, we were not all born with psychic abilities and psychic gifts, okay? But for those of you who were, and those of you who are also on a spiritual warfare fight, and for those of you who are walking a path that's not as smooth sailing as, those influencers on Instagram that you see traveling the world, like, those ones perhaps have finished out negative karmic cycles in previous lives. So when you see people living their best lives like that, and you see them traveling, and they're able to make a lifestyle like that, chances are they've cleared their karma, or not even that they've cleared it, they've already paid back their karmic debt and their karmic retribution in past lifetimes, to where they made soul agreements after they've paid back their karmic retribution and their heavy karmic debt, to where they're like, okay, I'm gonna make a soul agreement with the divine, and he's allowing me to incarnate on earth again, and this time I can live my best life, and I can travel, and my doors are open, and career, and like what they say, play money, or like work hard, play harder, and some of those people aren't even awakened, like they're like basic like mortals, and I hate to say it like that, but it's like they've unconsciously or subconsciously have cleared out their karma from past life karmic debt, and a lot of them honestly are new souls, to where like they're so unconscious, and like they're so like unaware, of like spiritual involvement. They're not awakened, and they're just like living, and that to them that's like normal, like it's not a thing. But it's like, for us spiritual beings of light and light warriors, and those from the 144s, the Pleiadian light warriors, and the the cosmic angels. You can be a cosmic angel incarnate, and your path's not going to be easy. You're going to see a lot of injustices, you're going to see a lot of truths, you're going to be cracked wide open like many times, And you're going to have many dark nights of the souls, and you could have more than a few of soul shocks, you know. And what's a soul shock? Okay, so like losing your twin flame, that's a soul shock. Trust me, I've lived it. And for like eight and a half years, I was in pain. You know, and I'm a light warrior. I'm also a walk-in soul. So I have this woman's cellular memories ingrained, you know, because the brain is part of the body. And some days it's heavier. Some days when I feel the energy vampires' motives and their hatred and their heavier, slimy energies, and when I read their thoughts of like, I hate her, I hope she this, and then I'm me being, and not only a spiritual warrior of light, of the cosmic angel flames of light, but being an empath and like sucking and absorbing energies, and then like having to live amongst these darker, lower vibrational realms, and living like in the middle, like the mortal realm. It's like, if you're a shaman or a shamaness, you know what I mean. It's very detrimental, and it's like you have to be very careful to clear every day. So being able to keep yourself clear from energy vampires is very important, because they will try so hard to bring you down to the point where their hatred for you will just be so personal. It will feel like personal attacks every day. If you're not careful to clear that, that can acquire as the evil eye, okay? And you can even call on Sun God Ra. So let's talk about Sun God Ra, okay? He illuminates the darkness into light. He brings you strength. He brings you clarity. He guards you. He's a sacred guardian of the solar, fiery skies. I like this tap. We're going to do a little bit of rattle shaking, because I'm finally having a little bit of somewhat peace after the past 48 hours of Nate from Euphoria, energetic shit. Just the heavy energies, and like this person was born with 3 shadow men attached to their shadow spirit attachments, and these things, like, they've wreaked havoc like on my father's house for years. And if you've known about like my videos and you've followed me for the past week or so, especially the last, like, I don't know, 3 to 4 or 5 days, or the last 48 hours, they're in the videos and they make their presence very known. And it's like, it's deliberate at this point. It's very like in your face, like, I'm gonna suck your energy, I'm gonna try to ruin your video so you don't have subscribers, I'm going to fuck your video up and be so loud and be an asshole dick. You hear them in the background. So I just want you to like be conscious, like, you need to guard yourself and protect yourself from that type of energy, okay? And some people have to endure it because it could be examples for other people. And you know, my spiritual light worker gifts, it allows for that. So I'm going to upload this session. I don't know what to title this one, but luckily the main energy vampire has left the house, so I could upload this. The other one's here, and there's 2 more, but they're not here right now. And then they have, like, you know, the other ones that feed off their energy, like, interchangeably, like, on the phone for hours. Like, energy vampires will be on the phone for hours, sucking the chi life force energy of someone else, whether it's their homeboy or their homegirl, or they always need to be occupied with another energy, because they were not born with a god light or a source light or a light of the divine. And they are, you know, they always need to be constantly like stomping around, you know, making their presences loud and known, having no remorse for the bad things they do, laughing at everything, just being emotionally immature, keeping, you know, different men or different women in their bed to keep their bed warm, having bad motives, like always latching on to like another energy to feed. Okay, so they're not allowed to feed on you. So I just want you to know that they're not allowed to feed on you. No one is allowed to feed on you without your permission. So like if you go into the shower every single day and you're like, okay, I'm going to do a divine source light meditation. So like you envision the shower with a beam of pink light from Chamuel, or you know what I mean? That's another light being, just like Metatron, okay? And he is the solar angel of relationship healing. And you know, you want to be in his angelic fire and his flames. It's beautiful. So, and a lot of people will fight me and like about like, oh, like you're talking about God's archangels and you're talking about heaven and blah 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 blah, Abrahamic bullshit. No, I'm not. I'm talking about the cosmic angels. Okay, these are higher ranking solar angels of this solar angels of fire. Okay, so, and I mean like Zadkiel, Metatron, Chamuel, Raziel, the cosmic angels. It's just so different when that one leaves the house, because he takes like all of his shadow men like with him, like right out the door, and it just feels so much more clear. You're like, for a time being, until the other one gets up and then starts her shit. So for the life of me, I'm a spiritual warrior and I can't hold my tongue for anyone. So I have this time, and I'm going to end the video because I'm going to upload this, and then I want to do a video that's more like channeling light language, and I want to also talk about the Phoenix bird in my next video. So thank you for watching, and thank you for being here. Like and subscribe, and if you can make a donation for energy exchange, I appreciate you, and namaste.